Thank you. Thank you very much indeed, and good evening and welcome to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I've had a few queries from the past two shows which I've done. In both of the shows, I actually mentioned that it was a cheap show, and that the BBC were cutting corners and saving money by not introducing what we would call normal opening titles. And I've heard from upstairs that they're not amused. That they want me to tell you, the audience, that the only reason I said that was to draw some sort of wry smile from you, the audience. And I should not actually give the impression, or don't wish to give the impression, that the hierarchy of the BBC are a load of cheapskates. Where would they get that opinion? I've also been asked why, in the last two shows, I haven't sat on the stool, which is my normal television posture. The reason being is that they, the people upstairs, have asked me not to. Because when the series is finished, they want to sell it, and they want to get as much money back as they can. When I was a child, as part of my upbringing, my parents always tried to impress upon me the goodness of being open, honest, and truthful. A lie was a deceitful thing, and therefore betrayed what we would call the family code. It was always better to tell the truth, even if sometimes you were physically punished for telling the truth, rather than tell a lie and sometime later be caught out and carry the stigma of a liar. You lie! You are a liar! You're a despicable little child, and nobody will have anything to do with you anymore! You are a liar! You are a liar! You are a liar! Shut up, you liar! Nobody will ever talk to you. You'll die by yourself saying, I'm a liar, I'm a liar. As a Catholic child, I was brought up believing I had a guardian angel, this big spook with wings hovering around me all the time. And my mother would say to me, did you do something? And I said, no, I didn't. You liar. No, I didn't lie. Yes, you did. The curtains moved. That's what the curtains got. She said, that's the guardian angel going out the window. He's so disappointed in you. You told a lie, he's pissed off. And the other thing, the black spot. Did you come across that? Oh, you also the hong on your. You speak English, don't you? Liars. The black spot. My mother would say to me, do you wash your hands? And I say, yes. She said, show me your tongue. I said, you asked me to wash my hands, it's not my tongue. I don't ask you, show me your tongue. There is a black spot on it. You're a liar. And I would go to the mirror immediately. No black spot. And I come back and I say, I mean, there's no black spot there. She said, that's because as soon as you're found out as a liar, it disappears. To make room for all the other black spots that are on the way. I mean, I used to lie to myself. I would go to the mirror and lie. I would stand in front of the mirror and go, I can float. I can jump over a tree. I've got the biggest willy in Ireland. No black spot. I have. And there was also the mythology of your nose, the nose growing. Don't tell lies. Please, I do not want to hear lies. Every time you tell a lie, your nose begins to grow. The more lies you tell, the bigger your nose will be. And you will have an enormous nose. And people will look at you. And they won't say, oh, look at that poor little boy with the big nose. They'll say, there's a liar. He's got the biggest nose in Ireland. And I say, I'm the biggest willy. So isn't it extraordinary? All this mythology is always directed at children, never adults. Have you noticed that? I mean, all this, the nose growing. I mean, I believed that when I was a child. I actually did believe that. I actually thought every time I saw anybody with a big nose in Ireland, he was a liar. I'd be sitting in the bus with my mother, and I said, Mummy, there's a liar over there. Shut up. He's got a big nose. My mummy says you're a liar. Shut up. But it never applies. Those lies never apply. I know those mythology never applies to parents. I mean, I'm in danger of having a tongue like a Dalmatian. Or having to get a wheelbarrow to carry my nose around. Parents, they don't come into that. They just, to them, a lie is a white lie. They just say, well, it was a white lie. Daddy, and you told a lie. It was a white lie. There are sometimes lies, and there's white lie. And not only do they tell lies, they lie up to they get me to tell. I remember telling lies on their behalf. They get me to tell bloody lies. I'd be standing in the house, and my father would go, oh my Christ, there's that man at the door. Duck down, hide. And I go, doop, 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 on the door. And he'd say, go to the door, answer the door, and tell him I'm not here. No, but Daddy, that's a lie. I didn't ask you that. Shut up, just go to the door and answer. Well, I'm going to be black spot. My nose will grow. Shut up and go and answer the door. But Jesus will die. Jesus will cry for me, and I'll be cast into hell and burn. Shut up, you little bastard. And he would go and open the door then. Oh, hello. How wonderful to see you. 2 seconds before that, he's calling this man a bastard. Come on in. Would like some tea, drink, food, lie down, you want to borrow money, anything. All that. And the thing with telling lies or telling the truth, there are times with your parents when you tell the truth and they won't accept it. You say, whatever it might be. And I say, what were you doing upstairs? Oh, I was reading. Don't tell me lies. Oh, I wasn't any, honestly. I was. Don't tell me lies. I'm telling you, I do not wish to hear any more of these perpetual lies. You're not going to tell me that you were upstairs doing nothing. I swear on the Bible. Don't you swear on the Bible! Now, what were you doing up there? So to appease them, you tell them a bloody lie. I was jumping on the bed. I knew you were doing something up there. And I've always told you, if you tell me the truth, I shall reward you. And because you told me the truth, I'm going to reward you. And he was sixpence. I said, but I also told you because you tell lies, you're going to be punished. And you did tell me lies, so give me that sixpence back. When I was 7 years of age, as a young boy brought up in the Catholic religion, at the age of 7, we've reached the age of reason. We can distinguish between right and wrong. My first confession when I was 7 years of age, and the first thing you actually say when you go into confession is, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I mean, I'm 7 years of age. What could I have done? Rape, murder, treason? And I go into the thing, and that's the first thing I've said. Bless me, Father, I have sinned. I haven't, so the first thing I've done is lied. I haven't done anything, but I've told a lie. Bless me, Father, I have sinned. It's all dark in there. And this voice comes from nowhere. Have you told lies? No. Have you stolen anything? No. Have you had any dirty thoughts? What's a dirty thought? It's an unclean, unpure thought put there by the devil to make you sin. What sort of thoughts are they? Well, what are you, a little boy? Yes. Well, there'll generally be thoughts about little girls. And those thoughts with little girls will lead you to carnal knowledge. What's carnal knowledge? Carnal knowledge is an unsanctified act of sex. 7, for Christ's sake. I haven't done anything. Well, get out and stop wasting my time. And I go out and all the other kids say, what did you get? And I said, I got some bloody ideas, some good ideas. Because the whole thing, too, your reputation was enhanced. The bigger your penance, the better your reputation. It really was. If you came out of confession and the kids say, what did you get? 1 Hail Mary. You were a creep. Who the hell wants to talk? 1 Hail Mary? Jesus, who the hell are you? Get out. But if you came out and said, 43 Hail Marys, and 24 Our Fathers, and 16 you were the bloody Al Capone of the... people would point you out in the playground. Oh, 15 Hail Marys. I mean, how honest, when we're really, how honest are we as people? You really consider yourselves to be honest? We are all liars in certain areas. There's not one person in the world that will admit in open company immediately that he has farted. I mean, everybody denies it. There's a kind of silence prevails. Nobody will ever say, who farted? It's only a question, but nobody will ever say it. It's all... My father, for whatever reason, my father hated the word fart. He just had this whole kind of block. He used to go, fart. Now, the first time I really heard a fart, a real fart, was... There was a farm near us, and there was an old fellow called Danny Dwyer, who was a milkman there. And he used to milk the cows by hand, and I used to go and help him. I was a baby, a little kid, I loved that. And one of the cows goes, vroom. And I said to Danny, Danny, what was that? He said, the cow farted. I said, what's the fart? He said, well, it's just a fart, just gas coming out of the cow. Boom, whack, out it goes. It's just another noise, like a dog barks or a cow moves. It's just another part of work. And I went back home to my father. I said, Daddy, fart. He said, where did you hear that? I said, it came out of the cow. He said, I do not want to hear that word in this house. Do not use the word fart. Now, the quickest way to get kids to say things is to tell them not to. I mean, I go out into the field. 7 years of age. Fart! 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 Fart, 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 fart! My mummy fart! The dog fart! The priest fart! The Pope's farting! You've seen him do that all the time. He farts! My mother would never say the word fart. She used to say, whose bottom squeaked? I mean, can you believe that? A grown-up woman whose bottom squeaked? My father used to say, who whispered? Which was fine until my grandmother said to me one day, come and whisper in Granny's ear. And the worst liar in the world, without any doubt, is the silent farter. I mean, that is worse than treason, adultery. It's worse than... It happened to me in New York. I got into a lift in New York on a ground floor building. Ground floor. There's just one man in the lift with me. And we both stand there. And you know how you stand in the lift. And he presses the button and said, what? And I said, the fourth. And he goes, what? And suddenly the doors start to close, and he goes, excuse me, shoop, and out he goes. And the doors go whack. And I'm in it by myself in a sealed box. And we go up one floor, the doors open, and 3 people get in. And they look at me, and I didn't say, I didn't fart. I was just so totally dishonest about it. I should have said, wasn't me, it was some bastard downstairs and he sneaked. On average, the average human being farts 14 times a day. My imagination runs, how did it get the figures? And women always say, I never fart. So if you're in a house with a field of women, if there's 10 or 11 women, you're going through about 180 a day. Truth. What What sort of a world would it be, actually, if we were totally honest? If you were in a restaurant and the head waiter came up and said, "Well, monsieur, did you enjoy the food?" And if you said, "Soup was like piss." The steak tasted like elephant turd, and the pudding was a mixture of both. And he would say, "Ah, monsieur has a discerning palate." You're making love to somebody, you climax. Was that good for you? What? Was it good for you? Was what good for me? I just made love to you. I just had an orgasm. Did you? I wondered why I dropped the stitch. Wouldn't it be marvelous? Wouldn't it be marvelous for the Chancellor of the Exchequer to come on television and say things like, "When we came to power, we inherited an extremely weak economy. But after 10 years, I can say without any doubt, pure honesty, we are really up shit creek." What about advertisers? Wouldn't it be lovely if advertisers were honest? As far as I can tell, the only commodity that I have ever seen on the market that's totally honest are odor eaters. I mean, there's no soft cushioning there. They're actually telling you odor eaters. For your feet. Your feet stink to such an extent that the only way you can get rid of this smell is to have it biologically eaten. Now, Jesus, that's fairly honest, isn't it? When you see people walk into the chemist shop and say, "What?" Because it's quite embarrassing. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What do you want? I'm sorry, can you speak up? What do you want contraceptives? No. Maybe on Friday, if these work. I'd like some odor eaters. Odor eaters? Oh, you'd like some odor eaters? Certainly, odor eaters. Doris, where is it? And the whole shop knows you're after odor eaters. Oh, you got stinking feet, huh? When you go home and you put these things in your shoes and they're down there, can you see them? Can you see them in your shoes? Sitting there, hour after hour, eating the smell. Lovely stinky feet. In between the toes. Do you know one day they're going to get tired of the feet? Come up the back of your leg and have your arse. Then your armpit, then your head. Mankind will be wiped out by bloody odor eaters. People from space will come down and say, "Whatever happened to mankind?" He was eating my odor eater there. I'd love to see condoms for sale called Pony Express. Wouldn't that be lovely? Condoms, Pony Express. The mail always gets through. It's not so much lies, it's a kind of fear of words. I mean, I will go in, for example, I will go into a pharmacy or a chemist shop. If there's something wrong with my wrist, for example, I sprain my wrist, I can buy a wrist support. Right? I can buy an elbow support, neck support, back support, leg support, thigh support, foot support, ankle support. I get to this area of the body and it becomes an athletic support. Now, why is this area of the body more athletic than the rest of you? I'm just entering my athletic part of the body for the discus. And there's the other thing about honesty and openness, truth. is a compliment. I mean, is a compliment? Is that a lie? Is that when you compliment people, when you don't really mean it, but it's part of the behavior patterns, part of the kind of social etiquette, when you compliment people? And we do. I mean, our egos benefit from, if you walk up to somebody, or somebody walks up to you and says things like, you've got lovely, wonderful complexion. You really have. How do you feel? But you do, wouldn't you? I mean, if somebody came up to you and said, "Jesus, you look wonderful. You look marvelous. You look stunning. I've never seen you look better." You begin to grow under that compliment. You begin to go, "Yeah, well, actually, I'm feeling quite good. Yeah, I'm having. You're years younger than I've seen. Yeah, well, you know it's a load of bullshit, but you're going along with it." But on the other hand, if somebody comes up to you and says, "You all right?" and you're feeling good, you go, "Yeah? You sure?" "Yeah." "Well, why?" "No, it's all right, don't matter. It's okay." "Well, no, why? Don't I look?" "Yeah, you look all right." "No, yeah." "Sure, I look all right." "Well, no, you don't look. You look bloody awful." I do, and you can feel yourself disintegrate in front of them. Have you looked at your skin? My Christ, it's all flabby. Pasty, your eyes, you've got all those brittle bits about your mouth. My Jesus, have you been in hospital? No. You seen a doctor? No. You're going? Yeah. Well, there's one of the great worries in our society is the image. Opulence at one time was an accepted part of the physical shape. Now we're terrified of it. Fat. You can destroy somebody by saying you're getting fat. Somebody walks up to you and says, "Shit, you're putting it on. Look at that old big pudgy dude." You know what fat is made of? Fat cells. Fat cells. You know that we have, each and every one of us, we have something like 47 million fat cells in our bodies. And do you know that what actually happens with a fat cell? The more you feed it, the fatter it gets. That's what actually happens. And then when he's so fat that you think, "I'll go on a diet," he starts to diminish. But you can't actually kill. You can never get rid of the fat cell. He's there. Once he's created, it's like a kind of Frankenstein in your body. He's there forever. But what has actually happened, what's proved recently, is that the fat cell can communicate with the brain. As the fat cell diminishes, it sends up chemical signals to the brain to be fed. That's why you get sudden urges when you're walking down the road from nowhere. You're not even hungry, but somewhere, from nowhere, you'll think, "Shit, I have a piece of chocolate. Chocolatey care covered in cream. That's not you. That's the fat cells saying, "Feed me, for Christ's sake, I'm starving, feed me." And the sensible you will walk around saying, "Yes, well, I'll have a piece of raw carrot." And the fat cell's saying, "Okay, raw carrot, covered in chocolate, covered in chocolate." Now, there are certain things as a child. When I was at school, one of the things regarding fat, I learned in mathematics that matter is matter. Matter can change its shape, but it doesn't go anywhere. You would remember this from school. Fat is matter. And yet every day of my life, I read about people losing fat. 4 pounds of fat, 6 pounds of fat. You've lost, oh yes, I got 10 pounds of fat off last year. Oh yeah. I read about some fellow in America recently who lost 84 pounds of fat. Where is it? Where is all this fat that everybody's losing? Bloody mountains covered with grass, fat mountains. Where do they keep it? In cupboards upstairs? We got a fat. I got mine in a drawer. Look at that. Fat collectors in the middle of the night. Where the fat collectors. Calorie intake. I'm told that if I have three glasses of red wine, my calorie intake is such that I should play a game of golf. I don't like golf. I don't want to play golf. I've given up drinking red wine. Don't want to play golf. if I have 7 gin and tonics, I should run 4 miles. For Christ's sake, can you see yourself with 7 gin and tonics? We don't have And the other thing that they've worked out, that during the act of love, the average human being burns off calories. All depending on the fervor of your lovemaking, you burn off calories. You can burn off 120 to 500 calories in the act of love. 500 calories is equivalent to a 7-mile run. And people are so stupid, they jog. They'd be sitting at home having a wonderful time. There goes the fat, look at it. And you see, we're in this world, now we're all concerned. Now we're talking about the ozone layer. Now we're talking about the energy that we have in this world, that we create in this world, is destroying our world. And yet we really have clean energy. When you make love, there's no pollution. There's no gases. Bit of friction, but nothing else. So what we should do is we should learn how to harness that energy, shouldn't we? I mean, fit electrodes all over your bum. And all that energy, when you're making love, is all fed into a great big power station. Clean, beautiful energy. If there was an energy crisis, and the Prime Minister came on and said, I'd like everybody to help, we'd all go, yes, I mean. We wouldn't have petrol, you'd still have your car, you'd just drive into a garage and pick up a couple, get in the back. Can you get me to Putney? Well, I'll try. Maybe Fulham. Can you imagine being chased by a speed cop? By himself? Can you see yourself in those jumbo jets on the end of the runway? Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to get to America, it's up to you. Slowly going down the runway. Oh, come on, back right. Up we go. Wow. Be wonderful, wouldn't it? You look forward to flying, wouldn't you? You wouldn't care if you crashed. Just help at the last moment. Oh, thank you. There it goes. There's the time, see? Another one's done, finished. No more. Thank you for listening. You've been very good. I've enjoyed it. That it's going to come down to about 3 minutes now.